Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 22nd of November going through until Sunday the 28th of November 2021. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today as always. I'm going to give you a rundown of what's happening each day this week to see what the planets are doing, what energy they create amongst themselves, and how you can use that to your advantage, plus how it influences you in the first place. And the thing that really jumped out at me when I was looking at this horoscope is that this week there's a huge focus on relationships. And at the beginning of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're going to have a lot of clarity into your relationships, but that clarity kind of goes out the window a little bit as the week moves on, and you still have the focus and the interest in relationships, but the wonderful insights and the patterns that you've recognized and understood, they kind of disappear a little bit. And what that's replaced by is, as the week goes on, is this great sense of adventure that comes up and a desire to experience things which are new and which you can experience for yourself. And it's almost like, it's not like, oh, my relationships are so complicated that I need to escape and run off. It's not like that. It's more about I'm not focusing on what doesn't make sense and what seems to be a bit of a burden here. So instead, I'm going to look at what I can do for myself, and I'm going to see what I enjoy and what's fun for me. So the focus and the understanding moves from the external world, other people. That's very strong at the beginning of the week. And as the week progresses, it kind of comes around by 180 degrees and it starts to point at you much more. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's see what each day is all about. Monday, the 22nd of November, we have the moon in Cancer. The moon is what comes naturally to you, and Cancer is all about the family and the home and your roots and what makes you feel safe. That squares Chiron in Aries. So Chiron is the wounded healer. And in Aries, it's in the first sign of the zodiac, which says, let's go and do something about this. And the fact that the two are squaring each other, there's friction between a sense of the people around me, my family, my home, or should I do something for myself? And here at the beginning of the week on Monday, that energy is being repressed so that you have more of a focus for other people than you do for yourself. And that square isn't there all week, so Chiron gets stronger and stronger as the week goes on. And Chiron is very interested in you doing things for yourself that you find healing and that nurture you and that kind of give you a sense of, I can take care of myself here. The Cancer moon also sextiles Uranus in Taurus, and it quincunxes Saturn in Aquarius. So what's interesting is Saturn is usually the rules and what you have to what is being scrutinized in the confines of how you can work and what you can do and say and think and all of those things. But on this day, I'm getting a strong sense of vibration, and Uranus is the miraculous and the unexpected. And in Taurus, it could bring about unexpected circumstances. And the feeling I'm getting is that it's almost like on Monday you have this heightened perception of anything that may be dramatic or difficult or intimidating or difficult. You can almost sense it coming. It's like when you're in the subway, when the train comes into the station, you can feel the wind like minutes before it comes in. So it's that you have this otherworldly, this kind of spider sense. You have a tingling awareness of what might be going on around you. So that's interesting. Okay, so on Monday, altogether, you're likely to experience a really strong interest in relationships, your family life, and your home life. All of the things that are traditionally associated with Cancer. You're able to recognize long-term patterns objectively, particularly in relationships, regardless, colleagues, friends, lovers, whatever. And you can gain great insights about the people in your life. And because you understand certain things, you may immediately have the solution. So if you understand that there's an unhealthy dynamic going on between you and another person, and the penny drops and you understand it, then there's something that you can do about it, so you don't have to engage with that dynamic anymore. So you can let go of things like that simply through gaining greater understanding. Also, the week before and the week before that, there's been a great sense of, let's get things done and let's be productive and let's be good. And you have been playing by the rules. And here on Monday, the 22nd, a result of that may be that you get some good news about your finances or education. So if you've been looking to make changes in those areas or you've applied to certain courses, then you may get some good news back here on Monday the 22nd. Tuesday the 23rd of November, we've got the Cancer moon opposing Venus in Capricorn. So the moon, first of all, rules Cancer. So the moon is very comfortable in Cancer. It's intuitive, it's nurturing, it's patient, it's loving, all of that stuff. And if it's 180 degrees away from Venus, so it opposes Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, in Capricorn, there's a conflict between things of the heart and things of the world. So you're going to be much more interested in your feelings and the people in your life and who has inspired you or who you've just met, rather than having this huge sense of duty and obligation to make sure you do your work effectively and you take pride in your work and all of those things. Work isn't such a big focus here on Monday and Tuesday. You're going to be fascinated by relationships in comparison to work. The Cancer moon also opposes Pluto in Capricorn. So you don't have a lot of time for big dramas or major changes. You want to keep an even keel going, like you want to keep things settled so that you can focus on your relationships. The Cancer moon also trines Mars in Scorpio. So there's some deep, dark feelings bubbling beneath the surface now. What I want, what I don't get, and resentment and really difficult things come into the mix. The Cancer moon also trines Neptune in Pisces. So we've got more water now. Scorpio is water. Neptune is the water planet. And in Pisces, it's in a water sign. So your feelings expand to the point now where you can be incredibly sensitive and intuitive, but also sensitive in the way that if you can make a mountain out of a molehill and take things the wrong way. The moon also quincunxes Jupiter in Aquarius, and Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. It's about good luck and good fortune. Aquarius is an air sign, so that's pretty a good match between the two, and it expands your ideas and it expands pretty much everything, including your feelings. So on Tuesday, the focus on relationships is still very strong, but now your feelings, I think, are a little bit extreme. So something that you could usually just ignore or take in stride, it could become a huge problem. And if there's certain things which are unresolved for you and you get triggered by things, watch out for that on Tuesday. Something can hit like a bomb. If you're single and you don't want to be, or you're married and you don't want to be, or if you're in a throuple and you don't want to be, basically, if you're not happy with your relationship status on Tuesday, then watch out for catastrophizing that and saying, oh, I'm single and I've been single for 5 years, which means I'm going to be single forever and it's all over. There's the chance to really blow things way out of proportion on Tuesday, the 23rd. So if you have a penchant for drama, then also watch out for that. Anything can become very dramatic and huge. Instead of kind of ruminating on the negative, and going round and round, and it hasn't worked in the past, so it'll never work again. Instead of doing that, which isn't, I'm laughing because it's not particularly helpful, but we all do it. Instead of doing that, try and ask yourself in a really practical sense, what changes can I make so that the future does look different? Like, what can I do about this instead of just lamenting the fact that things aren't working out for me? So emotions are running high. If your needs aren't being met, if you're unhappy, if you're having a tough time, then be there for yourself. That's the best and most nurturing and soothing thing that you can do for yourself. Again, the same as Monday, work and admin aren't really your favorite things on these 2 days, Tuesday as well. So make sure that you don't neglect anything that needs doing in those areas, and keep a lid on things and give yourself the leeway to look at your relationships. Wednesday, the 24th of November, we've got the Cancer moon. So the first 3 days of the week, the moon is in Cancer. So look at the first 3 days here. And by the way, what I noticed as well earlier is that these are all kind of, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that is, all week the moon is going to be in summer signs. So Cancer, Leo, Virgo. And summer traditionally in the traditional astrology chart is associated with lots of fire being out in the world and exciting relationships and new opportunities and things being vibrant and alive. So the fact that the moon is going through these kind of signs means that emotionally you're going to be very alive and fired up. And the first 3 days of the week, with the moon being in Cancer, which is a water sign, particularly because water rules the emotions and spirituality and love, and it makes everything seem bigger and also very different. You know, like if you're standing in a pool and you're standing in a pool and the water comes to your waist or something like that. And if someone looks at you, it looks like your legs have been cut off and your torso looks huge. It's like an optical illusion. So the first 3 days, be aware of emotions that are really, really intense and that seem kind of twisted or like you're not seeing them clearly. And try not to take permanent action, any permanent major actions based on those kind of feelings, because that's the big thing of the first 3 days, that you could get the wrong end of the stick because they feel so intense. So Wednesday, the 24th, the Cancer moon opposes Pluto in Capricorn. So again, you don't have that much time for unnecessary things being overly complex and difficult in your life. So you're not going to have a lot of patience if your heating goes out and you have to call the electrician and then make an appointment to wait for a 3-hour slot. And if someone gets appointments wrong, or, you know, it's little practical things that you usually rely on. If they go awry somehow, keep your cool in that area, particularly because that's not your interest at the beginning of the week. So you could become a little bit snappy here. The Cancer moon quincunxes Jupiter in Aquarius. So this gives you a great potential for new ideas and creative ideas, particularly. Mercury goes into Sagittarius at 4:36 in the afternoon. Mercury is the communication planet and the way you think and the way you see things. And with that going into the fire sign of Sagittarius, this now heralds the beginning of this wanderlust, this time of thrill seeking and saying, I need to go on an adventure and I need to make my life bigger and I need to discover something new here. So that all starts off with Mercury changing signs on Wednesday. So now the energy is shifting. And with that said, your insights that you gain about your relationships and the patterns that you see in there, those become a little bit more difficult to access now. So if you're trying to figure someone out, then try and do it on Monday, Tuesday. You really have a magnifying lens that helps you. The moon goes into Leo at 4:59 in the afternoon. So the moon in Leo is now in the fire sign that's ruled by the sun, and it's about doing something for you, having a good time, being out in public, socializing, connecting with other people. The Leo moon then trines Mercury in Sagittarius and the sun in Sagittarius. So we've got 3 fire signs, 2 luminaries, the sun, your identity in Sagittarius, fire, the moon, your feelings in Leo, and Mercury, the communication planet, also in Sagittarius. So things are really going to be moving now, and there can be a great sense of optimism that comes in. And like I said, a desire to go out into the world and to experience something totally new. So it's a good day for a social event. You still have some of the Cancer qualities that you had earlier in the week. So you're empathetic and compassionate and genuinely interested in other people. So that makes sense then that it's a good time to socialize. Conversation that's pretty informal may lead to some sort of discovery. And there is such great opportunity and for fun and adventure that, if anything, that I'm going to warn you about is try not to go overboard and get really hyped up to an extreme point. So do things that you enjoy, a trip to the beach or taking a different route to work or booking a holiday. All of those things are going to make you feel like, hey, you know, I'm on the right track. I'm taking care of myself. I'm booking things into my diary that I enjoy. Well done, me. Thursday, the 25th of November, we've got the moon in Leo now forming an opposition with Saturn in Aquarius. That's interesting, this opposition, because the moon is this tiny little luminary that talks about your feelings, and it's very quick and it changes signs a lot and it's adaptable and things. Saturn is the opposite. It's an outer planet. It moves very slowly. It's about the rules and structure, not about feelings. And Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian and the teacher and the learner. So Saturn is very rigid and it says, well, we don't really care what you think. These are the rules. So you can't. And the Leo moon is the opposite. It says, I have a desire, so I need to go and fulfill that desire. Thank you very much. That's my world that I live in. And those are my rules. So there's the potential for major conflict on Thursday. And also, like, if you feel like you're being ganged up on, that's really not going to fly, because the Leo moon may feel a little bit under pressure anyway. And Saturn can be very judgmental and feel like the finger is being pointed at you. So if you feel like that, like, oh, I mean, then that's a big no-no, because the Leo moon isn't going to like that and you may react. The moon then squares Uranus in Taurus and Mars in Scorpio. It trines Chiron in Aries and quincunxes Venus in Capricorn and Neptune in Pisces. Wow, okay. So lots of connections there. So Uranus in Taurus, change is good. Mars in Scorpio, I want to find something to let off some steam and to express my feelings. My interests are still my healing and my desire now to have a good time and to navigate my life effectively. That was kind of blocked at the beginning of the week with the moon, the Cancer moon on Monday, squaring Chiron in Aries. So that was mitigated to a certain extent, and other people were very important. Now on Thursday, it's no longer being suppressed in any way. It actually forms a harmonious relationship with the moon. And what it is you want becomes very important. So you're less interested in keeping other people happy. You're more interested in doing something that you find meaningful, and it's easy to make a decision because of that. You have practical know-how, so if you want to make a genuine change in your life, it's a good day to do it, because Venus gives you the practical way of looking at things and seeing how things could turn out, and then Neptune gives you the imagination to play the tape forward and to make a great decision on Thursday. So the big warning is that there may be some personality clashes on Thursday the 25th because of two things that are going on at the same time, which kind of conflict and intertwine in not such a good way. So one is this desire to be good and to follow the rules and to demonstrate how sorted out you are. And then on the other side, there's a need to subvert that kind of authoritarian energy and to be an individual and to focus on the self. So that immediately polarizes any kind of social situation and makes it difficult to navigate if you're overly opinionated, or, I mean, really, if you open yourself up to give people something to jump on. Like, for instance, if I'm going to a really important interview or something, then I'm not gonna share personal things about me that could be taken one way by a certain group of people and another way by others. And if there's no need to bring up something difficult and controversial, that's the word I'm looking for, that is controversial, then please do avoid that on Thursday the 25th. Arguments like that, they're not going to go anywhere. It's just rubbishy nonsense conflict. And what's also surprising with that Mars in Scorpio on Thursday is if you're getting into it, you may be super, super surprised at how low you're willing to go to win an argument, and also how loose your lips are. So if you're very good usually at keeping a secret and biting your tongue and saying, I'm not really going to say what I think here, I'm going to keep it civil, then you may struggle with that on Thursday. Using your imagination to manifest or to get creative is a better use of your time on the 25th of November. So look at what you can create on your own and try not to convince anyone of anything. Friday the 26th of November, the Leo moon opposes Jupiter in Aquarius. It quincunxes Neptune in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. So the Leo moon still feels a little bit put out now because it's making all these huge relationships with all the big outer planets, and it may feel like I'm being talked down to and I don't like it. I need to break free. I need to get away from all of this. So the Leo moon, Jupiter in Aquarius, that expands your ideas to to a level that's a bit grand and impractical. Neptune gives you amazing ideas and imagination, and Pluto in Capricorn allows you to see past reality as such and into what could be. If you're a creative writer, if you're an artist, if you're writing a screenplay or novel or something, Friday the 26th is an amazing day to gather what your own unique ideas are and to express them beautifully. Saturn in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries rather. So it's almost like I owe it to myself to be honest about my experience on this planet. You know, regardless whether my parents told me that I was going to amount to be the president or I was going to amount to be nothing, then sooner or later, I've been around long enough. I'm living, I'm breathing. I have an opinion too, and I need to express that. And that need should be followed up on Friday because, like I said, you have the creativity to find the right words or to pick up the right paints or to hear the rhythm of the conversation that you're writing, whatever it may be. So that's important because you're so creative in terms of the way you think and so open-minded that you can really generate something mind-blowing and unique and original. When it comes to your actual relationships with other people, the lack of clarity has now definitely set in by Friday, the 26th. And because of that, there could be a great deal of miscommunication and a lot of gossip. The important thing, first and foremost, is not to believe everything you hear, and certainly it's not to act on dubious information. It's better to let it go. So, questioning, so like if you overhear a piece of gossip about yourself and they're like, yeah, your best friend told me that on the way back from the party. And then you go, you go and see your best friend and you're like, hey, I just heard this horrible rumor about me that apparently was started by you. What's this about? Then that's a normal response, right? If you hear stories that your friend has been saying things about you which are less than pleasant, most people would say, hey, what's going on? The miscommunication is such on Friday that even questioning whether something is true or not could be seen by the other person as a betrayal of trust. It's like way over the top. Everything is like heightened, and any doubt of someone's integrity or your own integrity is going to be like, oh, what did you just do? That's like the ultimate no-no. So it's very touchy. And then we have all this miscommunication and gossip. So that's not a good combo. So if you have an art studio, I would hole up in there and do your creative amazingness instead of bickering about who said what and where and why. So again, if you hear something that's like a deal breaker in a friendship or in a relationship or something, I would urge you not to make a big decision on Friday because it may not even be true or you may have misheard it. It can be as simple as that. And that's the key here. It's about, you know, making something, yeah, like what I said earlier, making a huge thing out of something that really is nothing. That's the big pitfall this week, that the lack of clarity then means you focus on the wrong thing or you blow up something which is completely irrelevant. So it's important to kind of keep it grounded and productive. Saturday, the 27th of November, the moon enters Virgo. It's 3:12 in the morning, 12 minutes past 3 in the morning. So the moon in Virgo is now in an earth sign, so it's kind of a little bit more settled than Leo, which is grand and fun and exciting. The Virgo moon squares Mercury in Sagittarius and the sun in Sagittarius, though, so we still have a lot of drive and fire and enthusiasm here. It trines Uranus in Taurus, so now I embrace change. I want to see something new. And it quincunxes Chiron in Aries and Saturn in Aquarius. So it's not, I don't want to see your slides of Hawaii. I actually want to go to Hawaii. Okay. So Saturday, you may have the travel bug now, like in earnest, and you're like, I need to do something totally outside of my comfort zone. I don't want to see these buildings anymore. I don't want to see the same faces. I don't want to hear the same things. I want something new. So now it gets to the point of I want to have a break. I want to escape from all of this. So because of that, it's a good time to be around people and to do something and to have fun and to go on a trip or to, you know, to simply open things up for fun and activities and parties. It's a great day to get something booked in earnest and marked into your calendar. So if you want to take a cruise, then really look at the cruises that are available and say to yourself, I'm not gonna now browse cruises for the next 3 months and then maybe I'll make a decision. If you've thought about it for a long time and you want to get away and you want to do something different, then commit to it on Saturday. You won't regret it. So also, if you're someone who likes to make appointments ahead of time so that you have something to look forward to, Saturday is the ideal day to do that kind of thing, because you're able to overcome the reluctance that's associated with booking something, the cost, and I'm going to have to book this off and I'm really going to have to do this. You'll be able to get rid of all those obstacles and to book something that then exists on your calendar and you're like, yes, 4 months I'm going to Capri or whatever. You're likely to make good practical decisions on Saturday. So even if you do want to book something, if you want to take a trip or something, it's a good day to do it, because you're very unlikely to become extravagant or to break the bank here with this. You're making good, reasonable decisions to have a good time and to reward yourself in some way. Finally, Sunday, the 28th of November, the Virgo moon opposes Neptune in Pisces. So the imagination is like, okay, we're not so interested in that now. We want to get real. It trines Venus in Capricorn, so work and change. Pluto in Capricorn, major change is welcome. So I want to plan, again, not just a trip now, but maybe I want to make changes to my work or the way I live. Sextiles Mars in Scorpio, so some long, deep, dark, hidden frustrations may come to the surface. And it quincunxes Jupiter in Aquarius, so everything is heightened again. And now you have major ideas about real changes you could make. The Sun in Sagittarius conjuncts Mercury in Sagittarius. Not only do you want to make changes, but you want to still have an adventure and make life happen and to explore, but it's too much now. Jupiter it's like a helium balloon. It's almost like so because of this, it's like you may feel a sense of restlessness, or it's almost like an emotional hangover where you're like, am I coming or going here? So Sunday is a bit much. So if you decide I'm selling my house in France and I'm going to Australia, that's it, I'm doing it, then that's sit on that for a little bit before you act. So staying active, exercising, my favorite. Okay. Staying active, socializing or learning something new, all of those things are really important today if you don't want to become irritable. A slow pace is likely to get on your nerves. So if you're saying, okay, Sunday, I'm going to go lie in the hammock and read a good book and just hear the birds chirping and stuff, rethink that, because you'll get bored and restless and it's like, what am I doing? I should be running around getting things sorted. So give yourself the opportunity to book things in and to have a full day on Sunday. It's really best to make plans so that you can keep up this pace. You kind of have to hop along to it. If you just let it slide and you're like, I'm just going to lie here, then it's going to grate. You'll bristle. Okay. So that's what I get this week. It looks, there's a lot going on. We have huge opportunities in our relationships, going on adventures, making life bigger. So it's just about navigating it properly. So I hope you have a great time. I hope you have a wonderful week here. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. And I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology in my readings, and I combine all three. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing week, and I'll speak to you next week. All the best.